Hello, everybody, and welcome to News from the Pews. Everybody, I'm very excited to welcome Benji Martin to our show today. Benji is our sacristan at St. Joe. Isn't that right, Benji?
Yeah, for 5 o'clock and sort of 10 o'clock.
And sort of 10 o'clock, yeah. And especially Holy Week.
Yeah.
Holy Week, we are in right now. This episode should probably come out on either Holy Monday or Holy Tuesday. And our camera woman just rolled her eyes. Well, these basically just kind of upload themselves, don't they? Anyway,
Yeah, they do.
we are very excited because this is the holiest week of all weeks. And let's talk more about Holy Week in a second. But Benji, when you grew up at St. Joe.
Yes, Cradle Catholic.
And do you have memories of serving Mass as a little boy?
Oh, yes.
Who was the priest back in those days?
Well, my first Mass that I served was Father Jim. And
Father Jim? I don't even know.
Yeah, he was their associate pastor with Father Berger.
Oh.
And me and my dad, we would get up and go fishing Sunday morning, but we'd go to 6 o'clock Mass, and I would serve 6 o'clock Mass.
A.M.?
A.M., yes.
Oh my gosh. I've seen old bulletins and how it used to have a 6 a.m. Mass, an 8 a.m. Mass,
6, 8,
10
10,
a.m.
12. Yep.
4 Masses on
And then I believe it was 7:30 on Saturday evening, if I remember right.
In fact, last night I was with a group of priests and we were talking about Saturday night Masses and how nobody could remember the year, but the Saturday night Mass, which was there when you were a kid, but it was in the late 60s or in the 70s where it started. And I don't think before the reforms of Vatican II, I could be wrong, but I don't think it existed beforehand, the Saturday night Mass as a vigil. And then when it first started, it wasn't just that anybody could go. You had to have a reason why you couldn't go on Sunday. But anyway, the evolvement of the Saturday night Mass is very interesting. But it was 7:30 p.m. because it was when it first became more of a common thing, it had to be at sunset.
Yeah.
And now it's a little earlier.
Yeah. Well, it went from 7:30 to 5 to 4, back to 5.
Back to 5. You think people like 4 or 5 better?
I think 5 works out better because if you worked on Saturday, that you may not be able to come.
So when you start serving, you serve 6 a.m. Mass?
Yeah.
Every weekend? Was it every weekend?
No, not every weekend.
And how many servers were there with you?
Just one. We only had 2. That's what our protocol was. We didn't have the 8, 10, or 12 that you're accustomed to.
I love it. I'm hoping for 30 for Easter. That's my goal. That'd be good, wouldn't it? And Holy Thursday and all those things. Now, then Father Jim, so you served for Father Berger too?
I cannot remember if I had ever served for Father Berger.
I've heard many good things about Father Berger, but I've also heard he was very stern.
Yeah.
Was he stern?
Well, if you could talk to my dad, you could probably. Because I believe he was on the parish council or something, and yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
In any event, we are excited because it's the Triduum coming up, and we've got Holy Thursday Mass, 7 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
Now, do you know,
Holy
Benji?
Thursday,
do you know why the Protestants call it Maundy Thursday and the Catholics call it Holy Thursday?
No.
Because Maundy comes from the Latin word mandatum, which is mandate in English. And that is Holy Thursday, Jesus gives the mandate to wash feet. And which we do, we celebrate that and we remember that and we read that scripture, we do the 12, but we also as Catholics are very firm in our belief that Jesus on Holy Thursday didn't only do that. He did give us that mandate, that Maundy, but he also instituted the Eucharist and the priesthood on that day. And so it's the trifecta. So we don't only call it Maundy Thursday because we want to incorporate all three of those aspects. So that's why we call it Holy Thursday. But anyway, I'm very excited. That's kind of a complicated mass. Which is your favorite of the three? Easter Vigil, Good Friday, Holy Thursday. They're all so different.
They are. I would guess the Holy Thursday because that was the first Mass.
Yes.
But they all have a special meaning throughout.
They do.
the week.
I'm always moved at the feet washing, and I'm always moved at the procession after, which, boy, we go everywhere, don't we?
Yes, you do.
And Benji is the one. Benji does a lot of things that people don't always see, but he's in the back making sure that the servers are going in the right direction and they're going on the right pattern, because otherwise they could easily go down a different road.
Yeah. Don't forget the map.
Yeah, I know. I gotta find that map. There's so many little details, and you're a very detailed person. I mean, there's the towels. You gotta have 12 towels. You have to have all this stuff, and I don't know that you would use the word detail oriented to describe your pastor.
How about chaotic?
Well, but they are pretty much synonymous,
Yeah.
Anyway, then on Holy Friday, Good Friday, excuse me, that's the one that really moves me and I just want to invite people, if you've never gone to Holy Thursday Mass, please come. And even if you, it is so cool to see what Jesus did. Because remember what he did was that he took the Passover meal when everybody was celebrating, all the Jews were in Jerusalem, they were celebrating their deliverance from Egypt, and Jesus takes that, he's like, I want to deliver you even more. I want to deliver you into the ultimate promised land, out of the Egypt of this world into the promised land. And the way that's going to happen is the Mass. The way that's going to happen is the Eucharist. And nobody gets out alive without the Eucharist, And it's just so cool. But then on Good Friday, come to Good Friday, everybody, because this is where it all starts in such a somber way. It's not a Mass. There's no opening hymn. The priest, the deacon, walk in total silence with the servers, and we lie down. Because it starts at 3 p.m., the hour of mercy, because that's the hour that Jesus actually died, according to the scripture. And the priest lies down, deacon lies down, everybody else kneels in total, somber, dark silence to remember that fact of Jesus laying his life down. And then we go into the readings and the Passion narrative, but then we've got the solemn intercessions and the kissing of the cross. Oh my gosh.
Veneration. Yep.
That, to see people, and you've been up there holding the cross enough times that when you see people come up and cry.
Yeah. They're literally weeping as they come forward.
You get to see how deep people's faith really is in that, and it's breathtaking. Then we've got then there's the rite of communion. Even though these hosts were consecrated. Now that's always a tricky one, isn't it, Benji?
Yes, it is.
Because you got to consecrate enough hosts on Holy Thursday for Holy Thursday and Good Friday, but you're not supposed to have any left over, except maybe 2 or 3 in case of a hospital call or something.
Yeah.
That's hard to. How many are we going to do this year?
We agreed upon 600, but I have a feeling we're going to be doing your 700 that you wanted.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, because it's kind of hard to know. Then we got the living stations. Everybody, please come to those. Please, it's going to be beautiful. The Jesus. It's at about 4:30. The Jesus person who's going to be Jesus in that is one of our confirmandi. His name is Gabe. I'm just so impressed with him and with all these other youth and all the adults that are taking part in this. And it really, they've been working so hard, and I remember it last year, people pulling off of Broadway and being on the shoulder watching, it's just something else. Then then we got the mother of all vigils, Benji.
How long is it going to be this year?
What do you think? Should we bet on it?
No.
No, of course not. We should never bet on the Mass.
No.
Benji, what a terrible, don't ever suggest that again. But 3, I bet she's going to be, as I say, let's not bet. I think it will be about 3 hours. 3 hours.
That's an hour longer than the past 2.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
You've done the last 2 in 2 hours.
And a half.
No, 2.
2?
hours. Yep.
But we do all the readings.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
I don't cut any corners.
No.
Well, how can I make it longer?
Your homily.
Okay, I'll double the size of the homily. And we've got 18 baptisms at the Easter Vigil.
But remember, it's supposed to be a brief homily.
Yeah, we were looking at the rubrics the other day, planning this whole thing, and we were going through, and then Benji points out, he says, "Father, look at this directive right here," and the book actually says the priest gives a brief homily. He says, "Brief." It also said brief homily yesterday on Palm Sunday, and that was 11 minutes. It's pretty brief, Yeah. Anyway,
For you.
Then we we have all these. We have 18 baptisms, a ton of confirmations, and we've got a lot of first communions and reception to the church, the litany of the saints, sprinkling with holy water. It's going to the Easter. It starts outside with the Easter candle and the Easter fire.
I need to bring my raincoat.
Is it going to rain?
No.
For the water.
You in the holy water.
It is a perk of being a priest. I have to tell you.
Yes, it is.
So then we've got afterwards. I believe we have 5 or 6 weddings right afterwards. There's also reception following. So then, of course, we got Easter Sunday. So
you got to make sure you're finished by 11:59.
That's right, because that's when the chapel reopens.
Chapel reopens.
Everybody pay close attention. The chapel closes an hour before the vigil, or before Holy Thursday Mass, and it is closed throughout the Triduum. A question, trivia question, Benji. Is the Triduum part of Lent?
If you get the calendar out and count the days, it is. It falls within the 40 days.
Yes, it does. Exactly. There's 46 days if you count from Ash Wednesday to Easter. If you take out the Sundays, which are mini Easters, because we celebrate the resurrection every Sunday, including those during Lent, then you would include the Triduum. And the Triduum, the Triduum is almost like the most intensive part, I would say, of Lent. And it's our exit out of the desert into the promised land. Yeah. So I'm so excited. Benji, would you add anything?
Yeah, I just, after Holy Thursday in the evening, that's after the Mass, is the stripping of the altars.
Oh, yeah.
And there won't be any altar cloths, no candlesticks, anything like that for the service on Friday, which basically represents going up on the hill and putting Jesus on the cross.
I always find the church is so sad, like
somber,
empty.
Yeah.
And when you go into Mass on Holy Thursday, the tabernacle is empty because all the hosts of that Mass will be, those hosts, the ones that will be in the tabernacle, go to a different tabernacle out of the church. And then when you go to service on Good Friday, empty tabernacle, no sanctuary lamp, no altar cloths. Everything is covered up with purple cloths like it has been throughout Passiontide. It is It is like the church almost, there's no mass, there's no baptism, there's no weddings, there's no nothing. It's like almost like the church doesn't know what to do with itself on those days. They're just such sad. And then you got Easter.
Yep.
Lights, camera, action. Life.
That's it.
All right, Benji. Well, thanks for being on News from the Pews. We love it. And thanks for all you do.
All right.
Benji, truly, truly. God bless you all. Can't wait to see you at the Triduum.